cleanup project. We started in 2011 with a cleanup project. We had persons from abroad came and helped us clean the project. First step was to see how we register person in the system. We have a logic Antwerp, we call it in the Dutch, whereby it shows us the steps how to register someone in the system. Seeing that the system was built in 1997, there was not much knowledge about how to register someone in the system. The first step was to clean up so each person's profile was correctly filled. The second action that we had was going to Aruba and Curacao. We got all the birth certificates that was necessary for persons that was born in Aruba, Curacao. Bonaire, Saba, and Statia, we did request them via email, and we received them because there was less than Aruba and Curacao. All the birth certificates that we were able to get, we registered them, update all citizens' profile. A profile of a person has several steps. We have the person itself, the parents, the marriage, nationality, and their address. So all of those profiles, steps in the profile has to be updated. After that, we looked at all the legal residencies in the system. We looked at passport applications. Since 2011, every passport application will be taken at the front office, and in the back office, we do an in-depth research of the nationality. After 2017, we had an advice from the Netherlands that we have to submit also a form by every application. How did you become Dutch, and or are you still Dutch, or do you have other nationality besides your Dutch nationality? So this form is required for us to submit by every application of a passport. That helps us to establish if someone is still Dutch, yes or no. Also, that information I will go more in depth in the next presentation. Birth certificate requested from persons that were not born within the Netherlands Antilles. We do have to ask them to contact their authorities to bring in their birth certificate, seeing that civil registry don't have that contact with all the countries in the world, seeing that we have around 109 different nationalities registered in our system. And the next action that we do is the address verification. However, it is by law, a lot of persons don't abide by this and does not come and register the correct address. And that's also one of the reasons why persons does not receive their letters from the Civil Registry Department asking their whereabouts. Recent observations from the Civil Registry Department is post-Hurricane Irma, significant population movement, indicating many registered persons, but they are not anymore living here on St. Martin. Now I want to touch base the nationality. De Dutch Nationality Ordinance, Rijkswet op het Nederlanderschap. The manual, it has the law and also the manual for the application of the Dutch National Act of 2003 is the most recent act. Next to it, we have the amendment that happens now and then for the manual of the passport of the Dutch Nationality Application Act. The amendment is the part whereby the Minister of Justice and Veiligheid, IND in the Netherlands, most of the times they keep a record of things that are changed in the Netherlands and submit a request for change in the amendment. They request amendment in the manual, not in the law, only in the manual. And the WBN CM 03 from 2023 was a change in the manual of the national application of the Dutch nationality. What was the change in that legal frame? The amendment to the manual for the application of the Dutch Nationality Act 2003 was more specific in the Netherlands, whereby the Netherlands created a bill whereby a new determination of the procedure that allows people who believe they are stateless to have this determined by a judge. Municipalities are only allowed to register statelessness in the Basisregister Persoon if this has been established by a judge or if it is evident statelessness. This does not apply to St. Martin and Curaçao, as it is dependent for the Civil Registry Department to establish if the person is stateless, yes or no. How does this work? Persons who subject to the relevant nationality legislation are not actually considered national by any country or stateless within the meaning of the Rijkswet op Nederlanderschap. This brings the definition of the term statelessness. For civil registry, this can be determined by bringing proof that you cannot get any documents from your country. So I can take, for instance, a country as Jamaica. We have quite some residents from Jamaica in St. Martin. So Jamaica is a country whereby if a child is born on St. Martin, this child does not automatically get the Jamaican nationality. For this child to get the Jamaican nationality, the parents has to go to the Jamaican authority to request the passport from Jamaica for this child. By the moment of birth for this child, for us, the child is not stateless. We will register this child as onbekend nationaliteit until the parents bring in the passport that prove that this child is stateless or that they have the passport. So if Jamaican refuse to issue a passport for this child, and we can see that both parents are from Jamaica, and for one reason or the other, Jamaica refused to issue a passport, then this child might become stateless. However, we register first onbekend until the parents can prove such.
Construction for the Swaliga market began in September. However, during the excavation phase, we encountered unexpected soil quality issues which required adjustments to the foundation design. The Ministry of Varmi is currently reviewing this adjustment, and once the final permitting process is complete, construction will resume. We anticipate this will happen within the next 1 or 2 weeks. Although the project has encountered several setbacks, construction will unfortunately proceed during the peak tourist season. We understand the potential impact on the vendors and given their distance from town and the challenges of having visitors access them. We aimed to address this, and we're actively exploring solutions to provide unnecessary support to the vendors. So considering these challenges, we have broadened our approach to create a win-win solution for the vendors and the wider Phillipsburg area. We are in the process of launching a pilot project called Stop and Shop, aimed at driving tourist traffic to town and encouraging them to explore, stop, and enjoy what Phillipsburg has to offer. So this program includes incentives for tourists to spend time in town and provide a convenient transportation back to their cruise ships. So to ensure the success of Stop and Shop initiatives, we have partnered with key stakeholders who will play a pivotal role in the implementation. First, I would like to extend my gratitude to some of the tour operators for their enthusiasm and engagement in this program. Since 60% of cruise passengers participate in tour activities, their involvement is crucial. If we can encourage even 50% of these passengers to extend their visit and shop in Phillipsburg after their tours, it will be a significant boost to the local businesses as well. So in collaboration with the Ministry of Vrami, we are exploring the possibilities of creating a lay-bay near the old administration building off the Walter Nisbet Road. This idea, currently under discussion, would help reduce traffic congestion in town by providing a dedicated space for the bus to drop off passengers efficiently. The plan includes encouraging tour operators to communicate the shopping incentive to tourists at the end of their tours, accompanied by a complimentary ride back to the cruise ship. So participating retail stores will also play a key role by offering exclusive in-store discounts and promotions. These stores will provide vouchers or tokens for free returns rides redeemable through participating taxis and ferry services. So the tourist has a choice to decide if they want to go back with a taxi or a ferry. This added convenience ensures that visitors can shop stress-free and enjoy their time in Phillipsburg. The Stop and Shop program, as a pilot project, will be monitored bi-weekly, and if successful, we plan to develop a dedicated bus terminal to support this on the long-term needs of this project. Combined with the lay-bay, this terminal will streamline bus parking and improve tourist flow for Phillipsburg, benefiting market vendors, which means that they'll stop right by them, and a wider community. So by enhancing convenience and appeal, this initiative aims to boost our local economy. Next topic is, while we're on that topic of town, I need to address a serious issue. Over 6 months ago, I expressed concerns that Phillipsburg was beginning to resemble a ghetto. And unfortunately, the situation has worsened. I've been bombarded with countless texts, photos, and calls about the blatant disregard for the cleanliness, especially on the boardwalk, which has become overwhelmed with waste by concerned citizens, and waste overwhelmed with by the citizens and the businesses in town. I want the community to understand that keeping town clean is solely not the responsibility of government or the garbage collection services. Businesses and the community at large must also play a collaborative role. With this in mind, and in partnership again with the Minister of Vrami, we are urgently addressing these issues. Key solutions include improving communication between the businesses and the garbage company, enforcing forced garbage collection schedule and clear signage, introducing penalties for non-compliance and incentives for keeping the area clean, purchase of additional garbage bins, upgrading waste management infrastructure and launching public awareness campaigns, and exploring the third-party monitoring to ensure accountability. Again, I want to reiterate that this requires a cooperations of all stakeholders. However, let me be clear, if these efforts do not succeed, penalties will be enforced. Keeping our town clean is a shared responsibility one we must take seriously. Matter of fact, keeping the entire island clean should be a shared responsibility.
SXM, your social and health insurance is SXM, your social and health insurance is.
Are you SZV insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SZV is cardless. Request your My SZV account today and enter the virtual office of SZV. Go to szv.sx and sign up now.
SXM, yeah, your social and health insurance is.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to keep in mind to help keep you and your family safe. The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th, with the peak occurring between mid-August and late October. This hurricane season, be sure to put together a go bag. A disaster supply kit including a flashlight, batteries, cash, first aid and supplies, medications, and copies of your critical information if you need to evacuate. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of St. Martin.
I want to take this opportunity to provide you with important updates on several key matters. Budget 2025. The Budget 2025 was submitted to the Council of Advice earlier this month for review. Once the Council completes its evaluation and sends it back to us, we will make any necessary adjustments quickly and submit it to Parliament for approval. Financial Literacy Month. November is proclaimed Financial Literacy Month, and I'm happy to report that we held 5 free workshops, all of which were held and well attended. I had the chance to attend more sessions and receive valuable feedback from participation. I believe that financial education is essential, so I plan to organize similar workshops throughout the year, not just during Financial Literacy Month. In the coming weeks, I'll also be visiting schools in collaboration with the library to promote financial literacy among students. Unfortunately, the National Youth Pitch and Youth Biz Expo had to be canceled due to limited participation from schools and limited registrations. However, we intend to work with the Ministry of Education to plan a new event specifically for young students. Tax reform and revenue increase. During recent parliamentary meetings, I received various questions on tax reform. I've met with the tax reform work group at the beginning of November to review their progress and provide guidance on the government's direction for tax reform. I am committed to keeping Parliament and the public informed as we advance in this critical area. The first step in the reform is to remove outdated taxes that are no longer in use, such as the land tax, inheritance tax, and e-zone legislation. For tax holidays, instead of abolishing them entirely, we are looking to simplify the process with clearer guidelines. I am awaiting for the work group's suggestions on this matter. Once received requested information, I intend to go to Parliament to provide them with a holistic approach and update and plan of approach. Increasing revenue for the country is a priority. While we hope to receive advice on the tourist tax before the end of the year, we are also focusing on room tax compliance. Based on the data received, it is clear that many are not meeting their monthly room tax obligations. This includes room tax owed by hotels and short-term rental properties listed on the various online platforms. A special work group will be formed to tackle this issue and ensure proper collection. Vehicle tax. Regarding vehicle license plates, I want to confirm that we will keep the current plates and continue with the sticker system. We are, however, working to improve the online payment system for vehicle tax. In the past, there were problems with delays in receiving receipts and limited payment options. For 2025, we aim to make the process smoother and more convenient. Payments for vehicle tax can begin in January 2025.
Communicate with the person or persons that might have triggered that emotion in you. And that's where the difficulty comes, right? And we've all heard this saying that's called toxic masculinity, correct? And I know some of us might be tired of hearing it. I am, because it's almost as if masculinity in itself is inherently toxic, but that's not true. It's that most of the times we are not given the tools to be able to handle our masculinity and also how to communicate our masculinity in a way that's healthy. So self-awareness, what does that mean? It means that we have to be able to know what we are feeling. Be comfortable with labeling what you are feeling. If it's anger, tell yourself, I am angry. If it's anxiety, tell yourself, I am anxious. If it's sadness, tell yourself, I am sad. And I want to, especially on that last one, I want to dispel something that we say on St. Martin a lot, which is if you're sad, you're soft. Now you're being soft, man. Harden up. Don't fall for that. That's part of the toxicity that's kind of part of our society. Labeling and acknowledging what you're feeling is very important because it gives you the first step at being able to manage that emotion. And funnily enough, when you label it, your mind automatically starts moving that emotion forward to your frontal lobe, to where management of emotions can happen, to where your logical center is. So it's kind of funny, but when you put a label to what you're feeling, you automatically are, in your mind, already dispelling some of the negative feelings that come with that emotion. So again, self-awareness comes with knowing and acknowledging what you are feeling. All right, so how do I become self-aware? Let's say not yet, we're still there. Imagine that we are, I'm on the road. Somebody comes and calls my mother out of her name. All right, that's something that could trigger anybody real quick. Now I could do the typical reaction, which is cuss them out, get into their face, get angry, get loud, shout at them, call them out of their name. But what does that do for your image? What does that do for your image as a leader? What does that do for your image as a father? What does that do for your image as a professional? Because the truth of the matter is that no matter where you're at, no matter what setting you're in, you are being looked at as a leader, as a professional, or as a father. Whoever knows you as either one of these things, if not all three. And how you respond to that usually stays longer in the public than you responding in a way that is professional, right? So what would I do? One of the main things, and I'm telling you again, I struggled with this, right? This is an everyday thing. You have to say to yourself, take a pause. Do not respond immediately. Take a pause. One of the most effective things that is used is a breathing technique that even the Marines in the US Army use, and even other armies in the world use, which is a breathing technique of taking 9 breaths in deep and out slow through your mouth, right? You might not make it to the 9th, but by the time you make it to the 3rd, your mind is a little bit more arranged and you're ready to respond, right? So that happened to me. Somebody calls my mom out of her name. You breathe, you take a pause, and then visualize your options. And that, young gentlemen, is the most important part.
Your social and health insurance is Your social and health insurance is.
Are you SXM insured? Do you have a valid medical insurance status? SXM is cardless. Request your My SXM account today and enter the virtual office of SXM. Go to sxv.sx and sign up now.
Your social and health insurance is.
On Tuesday, November 12th, Princess Beatrix arrived on St. Martin to conduct her two-day visit to exhibit the work of the Dutch Caribbean Nature Alliance, DCNA, and the socio-economic initiatives on both St. Martin and Saba. On Wednesday, November 13th, Princess Beatrix visited the Emilio Wilson Park, whereby she was presented with spoken word skits and poems by students about various invasive species and their importance to the island.
There may be dozens of laws in this world, but nothing is stronger than willingness. So with this, I introduce to you one of the ways we can start to address our challenges, making all of us aware and allowing a space for our young adults and students to show and demonstrate their struggles with nature's threats in the form of art.
As though our rivers clean and bright, our skies a stretch of forever light. With every tree and every seed, we build the future that we need. The oceans call deep and clear, for the less waste our lives help bear. Each plastic cup, each can and straw leaves marks on the lands that we all saw.
These plants and animals to the lands they invade are called invasive species and are a problem man-made. But we do have to remember, these animals are not at fault. Like us, they try to stay alive, which is simply how they've evolved. They are not conscious that they are a bother and actually a danger to one another.
This adorable creature spent its days waking at dusk and watching itself to go forage for food. It lived a very content life of sleeping through the day and eating at night. One evening, the creature decided to venture a little further from its home, looking for some bamboo to snack on. The journey wasn't too difficult and maybe even a little fun. The thrill of adventure overcame the animal as it spotted a fresh thicket of bamboo.
We claim paradise by sea or from lands far away. The alien invaders made their way, seeking comfort. Some slid onto boats destined for our gain. Others brought by colonizers, filled with despair of leaving their homeland to live here. Now settled on our shores of reproduction, they were sure. Their families grew, and soon they all had aunties and uncles too.
Later, she was taken to the Milton Peters College, whereby she received presentations from students regarding marine spatial planning on the island. Princess Beatrix visited Perpetual Plastics by Epic, where she was given a brief introduction on the efforts to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Princess Beatrix also received the opportunity to shred plastic utilizing one of the machines at Perpetual Plastics.
We're here in this beautiful place, and the core of today's activity is going to be the 3 R's. So reduce, reuse, and recycle. Because these are not just words, but these are real initiatives that we can implement to live more sustainably. So let's start with reduce. That, in my opinion, is the most effective way that we can cut off on pollution. Because while recycling and reusing plastic are super important, very important, but the first step that we can really take to reduce plastic pollution is to use less plastic, right?
Let's see if when this thing is try again.
Education and awareness about climate change are essential tools. We believe that every resident should understand the profound impact this issue has on our beloved island. We aspire to see more protected areas both on land and in our oceans, ensuring that future generations can appreciate and enjoy the richness of our environment.
Day 2 consisted of visiting the Great Salt Pond birding platform. Princess Beatrix was guided by Pinky Von S to view the new project initiative and bird life of St. Martin's ecosystem. During her second stop for Day 2, Princess Beatrix visited the Little Key and Mullet Pond in Simpson Bay Lagoon. Princess Beatrix, along with the Minister of Public Housing, Spatial Planning, Environment and Infrastructure, Patrice Gums Jr., signed a letter of intent to safeguard the Little Key Protection Area project. To round off Princess Beatrix's visit to St. Martin, she was honored with the opportunity to once again officially reopen the Princess Juliana International Airport, which she first did in 2006.